Right, okay. It's been a hard day today, but we're here, we'll persevere. We've got one more Beatrix Potter book, unfortunately, and we're going to do it. We're going to finish it off despite how we feel. It's 11 o'clock. It's the 2nd, it's the 14th of the 2nd. And this, Lily, I seen you today, is the tale of the Flopsy Bunnies by Beatrix Potter. This book looks like it's been in a washing machine. It is said that the effect of eating too much lettuce is soporific. I have never felt sleepy after eating lettuces, but then I am not a rabbit. They certainly had a very sporife effect. Soporife effect upon the Flopsy Bunnies. When Benjamin Bunny grew up, he married his cousin Flopsy. They had a large family and they were very improvident and cheerful. Improvident and cheerful. I do not remember the separate names of their children. They were generally called the Flopsy Bunnies. There you go. There's lots of Flopsy Bunnies through here. All over the spot. As there was not always quite enough to eat, Benjamin used to borrow cabbages from Flopsy's brother, Peter Rabbit, who kept a nursery garden. Sometimes Peter Rabbit had no cabbages to spare. When this happened, the Flopsy Bunnies went across the field to a rubbish heap in the ditch outside Mr. McGregor's garden. They're up to summer. I say this book's got water on it. Mr. McGregor's rubbish heap was a mixture. There were jam pots and paper bags and mountains of chopped grass from the mowing machine, which always tasted oily, and some rotten vegetable marrows and an old boot or two. One day, oh joy, there was a quantity of of overgrown lettuces which had shot into a flower. The Flopsy Bunnies simply stuffed lettuces by digress one after another. They were overcome with slumber and lay down in the mown grass. Benjamin was not so much overcome as his children before going to sleep. He was sufficiently wide awake to put a paper bag over his head to keep off the flies. The little Flopsy Bunnies slept delightfully in the warm sun. From the lawn beyond the garden came the distant clackety sound of the mowing machine. The blue bottles buzzed over the wall, and a little old mouse picked over the rubbish amongst the jam pots. I can tell you her name. She was called Tomesia Tipplemouse, a wood mouse with a long tail. She rustled across the paper bag and awakened Benjamin Bunny. The mouse apologised profusely and said that she knew Peter Rabbit. While she and Benjamin were talking close under the wall, they heard a heavy tread above their heads, and suddenly Mr. McGregor emptied out a sackful of lawnmowers right upon the top of the sleeping Flopsy Bunnies. Benjamin shrank down under his paper bag. The mouse hid in a jam pot. The little rabbits smiled sweetly in their sleep under the shower of grass. They did not awake because they... You! The top of the flops. Benjamin shrank down under his paper bag. Let us go and chuck him out because he's been in all day. He's quick. Sorry about that. He's been in all day. Blue's been in all day, Lily, and he is now starting to upset Patch, which then sends Patch on the nines, and then Patch won't sleep, and then she'll jump all over me and carry a still and attacking me. But he's out now. He likes to go out on a night. But he always comes back when I've finished, and I come back in the morning. He's always there to get fed. So, and then I let him stay in the house and keep warm for a good bit of the day until he tests my patience to the point where I have to kick him out. Sorry for ranting on. He interrupted our reading session, that's all, by attacking Patch. Right. Where were we? Right, we're here. Mr. McGregor emptied out a sack full of lawnmowers right upon the top of the sleeping Flopsy Bunnies. Benjamin shrank down under his paper bag. The mouse hid in a jam pot. The little rabbits smiled sweetly in their sleep under the shower of grass. They did not awake because the lettuces had been so I can't say that word, it's very difficult. So poor rife. I don't know. They dreamt that their mother Flopsy was tucking them up in a hay bed. Mr. McGregor looked out after emptying his sack. He saw some funny little brown tips of ears sticking up through the lawnmowers. He stared at them for some time. Presently, a fly settled on one of them, and it moved. Mr. McGregor climbed down onto the rubbish heap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits, said he as he dropped them into his sack. The Flopsy Bunnies dreamt that their mother was turning them over in bed. They stirred a little in their sleep, but still they did not wake. Mr. McGregor tied up the sack and left it on the wall. He went to put away his mowing machine. While he was gone, Mrs. Flopsy Bunny, who had remained at home, came across the field. She looked suspiciously at the sack and wondered where everybody was. Then, the hang on. Then the mouse came out came out of her jam pot, and Benjamin took the paper bag off his head, and they told a doleful tale. Benjamin and Flopsy were in despair. They could not undo the string, but Mrs. Tittlemouse was a resourceful person. She nibbled a hole in the bottom of the corner of the sack. The little rabbits were pulled out and pinched to wake them. Their parents stuffed the empty sack with 3 rotten vegetable marrows, an old blacking brush, and 2 decayed turnips. Then they all hid under a bush and watched for Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor came back and picked up the sack and carried it off. He carried it hanging down as if it were rather heavy. The Flopsy Bunnies followed at a safe distance. I don't know if they've just swapped everything out of that bag there or what's going on here. I'm a bit lost. They watched him go into the house, and then they crept up to the window to listen. Mr. McGregor flew down the sack on the stone floor in a way that would have been extremely painful for the Flopsy Bunnies if they had happened to be inside. They could hear him drag his chair on the flags and chuckle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits, said Mr. McGregor. They've conned him. Eh? What's that? What have they been spoiling now? Inquired Mrs. McGregor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little fat rabbits, repeated Mr. Gregor, counting on his fingers. 1, 2, 3. Don't you be silly. What do you mean, you silly old man? In the sack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, replied Mr. McGregor. The youngest, Flopsy Bunny, got up on the windowsill. Mrs. McGregor took hold of the sack and felt it. She said she could feel 6, but they must be all rabbits because they were so hard and all different shapes, not fit to eat. But the skins will do fine to line my old cloak. Line your old cloak, shouted Mr. McGregor. I shall sell them and buy myself baccy. Rabbit tobacco. I shall skin them and cut off their heads. It's a children's book. Mr. McGregor untied the sack. Mr. McGregor untied the sack and put her hand inside. When she felt the vegetables, she became very, very angry. She said that Mr. McGregor had done it on purpose. And Mr. McGregor was very angry too. One of the rotten marrows came flying through the kitchen window and hit the youngest, Flopsy Bunny. It was rather hurt. Then Benjamin and Flopsy thought that it was time to go home. So Mr. McGregor did not get his tobacco. Mr. and Mrs. McGregor did not get her rabbit skins. But next Christmas, Tomesia Tittlemouse got a present of enough rabbit wool to make herself a cloak and a hood, and a handsome muff and a pair of warm mittens. And that is the tale of the Flopsy Bunnies, little Lily. And that is the end of all our Beatrix Potter books. So that is 5, eh? So that's 5 of them done. So now the book we've got left is Baby's Very First Lift, the Flat Peekaboo. It's a peekaboo. Peekaboo book. And we're going to read that tomorrow. I'm glad to see you today, and I hope I get to see you soon. Again, but there's no rush. You just always need to know your dad always loves you, and he's always going to be here for you, no matter where he is. He'll always be here. You get some rest and have a good night's sleep. Dad loves you. And see you soon.